Global Professional IGP, greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us today. An honorable knowledge seeker. Today I'm your host for the evening. My name is Badhun Das. I'm from Bangladesh. And knowledge seeker, proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is Social and I Certified International Educational and Training Institute. In last years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seeker from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus professionals and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student community research providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by offering formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to students, job seeker, job holder, and also for learners, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product. It's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar, seminar courses, award quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and bulk knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, converse sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program, webinar, and offline online courses for you, the learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we present. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continuous improvement so that individual who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. So support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. So support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 2004 webinar successfully. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 2004 webinar successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well-wisher, at this moment, this is a very important message for you. Design our website, www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our service. So create an account from us with profile information. Note that with profile information, you'll enjoy all feature with mismatched data. You cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in left push competition on our website. We replace slide. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate. Otherwise, not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you're an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate, speakership certificate. If you're a host of IGP, you can download certificate of graduate. If you're an online left quiz competition winner, you can download the certificate of participation. If you're selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download the certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, we participated in an award function which organized common support with IGP. You can download that also. You can install PP and download 18 types of business certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of global professional membership, certificate of global influence in the pandemic, certificate of active knowledge seeker, certificate of social activities in the pandemic, certificate of achievement, IGP knowledge seeking government 2020, 2021, and 2022, certificate of participation webinar series 1. Authentic assessment in teaching learning, certificate of participation webinar series 2, teaching English as foreign language and assessment, certificate of participation webinar series 3, digital classroom, upskill also leadership and managerial skills, certificate of participation webinar series 5, the new training education certificate of participation webinar series 6, trend and innovation in mathematics education, certificate of participation webinar series 7, research comprehension approach, certificate of participation webinar series 8, art in teaching a special program in the art, certificate of participation webinar series 9, 21st century tooling teaching mathematics, certificate of IGP corporate ambassador, certificate of IGP campus ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level quiz with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, education tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our previous student service website for free and many more. Dear IGP, well, we shall promised previously, but lack of technical problem, we will late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous conditions, solve solution from our website. Now you can enroll, set password, everything. You check out this for all admin details. It's a total request to check all button and pages on our website. You like and still be benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or logged in, you cannot enjoy such services. At present, we are going to start our 2005 webinar, which name is How to Be a Successful Teacher. And today our speaker ma'am name is Dr. Samia Ismail Sheikh. She is from Palestine. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker ma'am, I'll share a little bit about her. Manager in Ministry of Education and Higher Education, Palestine. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. Good morning, everybody, all over the world. So nice to meet you in this year and the first or the beginning in January and the beginning of this year. And this is my first lecture in 2024, inshallah. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you, and I'm so pleased to be one of IGP members. I want you, will you please pray for my family and people in Gaza to get their freedom and return to their houses, getting their rights from the barbaric attack, Israeli attack. May Allah have a mercy upon martyrs and cure the injuries and deliver them in His paradise. My lecture today is entitled How to Be a Successful Teacher. Like any other meaningful, worthwhile career, teaching has a learning curve, but the skills that make a great teacher are habits you can build and learn over time. Once you have learned to feel comfortable in front of your students, teaching will become a fun and even more rewarding job. You can become a successful teacher at any pedagogical level by preparing ahead of time, successfully managing your classroom, and engaging directly with the students. Here, I put a guide to help you boost the key skills you need to become a successful teacher. Teaching is one of the most important professions in today's society. As a teacher, you will shape the minds of others and encourage them to think independently. To become a good teacher, it's important to be organized, create lesson plans, objectives, activities, and assessment plans will be for each class day. Get your students interested in learning by fostering a positive, supportive, yet challenging classroom environment. Seek out other teachers for assistance too. These are some of the notes or tips I'm going to advise you during my presentation today. First of all, we are going to manage how to manage our classroom. There are some tips you are going to show or to tell your students about them in the beginning of the school year. From the first period you are going, or the first class you are going to begin. First of all, you are going to tell them the guides or the rules. They are all of them will carry out. First of all, you are going to maintain silence. Why? Because they are going to listen carefully to understand. Then, if they want anything from the teacher, they are going to raise their hands to speak. Then, you are going to keep your workspace tidy. Everything must be tidy by the teacher and by the students. The teacher should be kind to others, and he must follow the dress code. This is for the teacher and also for the students. They are going to attach to the dress code or the uniform of the school. Then the students shouldn't use cell phones. They should be attentive, respect others, maintain good personal body hygienic, and they must complete homeworks daily. These are some of the rules, and you can add other guides or notes for your students. You can hang this on a wall chart in front of all of the students in your class. How to manage your classroom? First of all, you are going to decide on your classroom policies, then follow through. As I told you, there are some policies or some guides or some rules you are going to tell your students to follow, so as to be or to make the teaching learning process very easy. It's important to show your students that there are specific guidelines that they need to follow in your classroom. Clearly say these policies on your syllabus and expect your students to follow the policies. For example, consider, will you allow students to use their cell phones while in class? Of course not. Can students take notes on a laptop, computer, or tablet? Maybe you can agree or not. How many times, another question, how many times can a student arrive late before they lose points? These are some of the tips or the questions you are going to ask yourself to decide the policies, then to follow through. Although some of these may be school-wide policies that you have no control over, you should still enforce and follow through on them. You are going to follow these policies so as to make the teaching learning process very easy for you. Then you are going to maintain your authority over the classroom. There should be an authority from you as a teacher. They should respect you. You should be self-confident. All of them should listen to you. You are going to listen to them freely. There is a very good communication between you and your students. While teachers should not be seen as authoritarian, it's important that you do act with authority. Some that you are effectively leading the class by explaining the daily class schedule ahead of time and keeping the class focused on the lesson. Then be clear that when you are speaking, all the students' conversation needs to stop when you are going to explain a lesson or a point or the syllabus, any text. All the students' conversations should be or needs to be stopped. And then don't hesitate to call out individual students. Say something like, please don't speak over me, and raise your hand if you have a question. You are going to tell your students to raise their hands if they want anything from you, and to tell them that they shouldn't interrupt you while you are explaining to clear your ideas. Politely but firmly insist that students put away their phones and computers as well. If your students are browsing the internet rather than taking notes. Now, some of the students will use their cell phones to chat with others while the teacher is explaining the lesson. So you are going to firmly insist that they must put away their phones and the computers as well, so as to understand what the teacher says, what you say. Then dress like a professional. A successful teacher should dress like a professional. How? The way you dress and act plays a large role in how you are seen by your students. Both men and women, especially teachers in their 20s, should dress professionally. The younger teachers should wear their clothes professionally. Why? Because the students will imitate them. I'm going to tell you something about myself. When I was a student, maybe in the preparatory school, I used to look at my teachers. What are they wearing? Or what is she wearing? What was she wearing? She looks very beautiful when she wears something, and I like to imitate her. This is very important, and this leaves an impressive an impressive factor upon the students. So you are going, for example, to wear a jacket, a shirt, and tie, wear a dress or skirt to look more professional and consequently more authoritative. Dress like or like a professional, or looks dress like professional. The way you dress and act plays a large role in how you are seen by your students. Both men don't plan to improve or change plans in the middle of the class. Then plan out how the class will spend its time every period. You are going to plan or to put a schedule, a time schedule for your students or for your period, how you will manage your time or the period or the period time or the time of the period. This should be a standard part of your lesson planning. It's better to plan too many activities for any given class period than too few. If you have an extra activity, save it for a day when you get through your lesson more quickly. Don't plan to improve or change plans in the middle of the class. Don't change your plan in the middle of your period. But you are going to go on, and if there are other activities, you are going to put them off or to delay them for the next time or to explain them next period. Aim for each activity to take about 25 minutes. Maybe you can take for each activity 25 minutes, maybe more than this or lesser than this. Maybe 20 minutes will be enough. Maybe a quarter, 15 minutes, let's say, it will be enough. This is according to your activity. This will give you a rough estimate of how many activities you can plan in a class period. If you have, for example, a 15-minute class period, plan on two major activities. If you have 50 minutes, according to the period in your country, for example, in Palestine, the period is just 45 minutes. But in other countries, it may be 1 hour, and in others, maybe 50 minutes. If you have a 15-minute class period, you are going to do two major activities. Have your students complete a quiz and then participate in a group discussion, or for younger students, ask them to complete a hands-on activity in a group. Then individually, write a summary of what they learned. Don't plan to improve or change plans in the middle of the class. And we insist that you are not going to change or improve your plans in the middle of your period or the class. Then act confidently, even if you don't always feel confident. One of the most challenging parts of teaching, especially for new teachers, is showing confidence in front of a classroom full of strangers. Even if you don't feel confident at first, fake it. Students usually can't tell the difference, and your classroom successes will turn into genuine confidence soon enough. Then use occasional humor in the classroom. When I was a teacher, I used to say to my teachers or the employees, create a humorous situation for your students. Don't be stuffed. Don't be sticked. Don't be eye-brocked. You are going to create humorous situations so as to refresh your students, to make them feel that learning and teaching is very fun. And so they are going to, or the period will attract them, and you will attract them to carry out the tasks you ask them to do. Then use as I said, occasional humor in the classroom. Humor can often show confidence. It makes you look like you are in control of a situation if you can inject occasional humor. Show confidence by your physical presence. Don't huddle in a corner of the classroom during every class period. Stand up, move. You are going to move in your class, but your movement shouldn't be very quickly. You should, in a semicircle, you should move in a semicircle in front of the class when you are discussing something or explaining something. You have to go in the rows beside the students who have a low voice. You are going to come up with them and to encourage them to talk loudly. Up, move round. You are going to gesture with your arms and write on the whiteboard or the blackboard or the green board if you have, whatever you have. These motions will make you appear confident and dynamic. You are not going to be static. You are going to be dynamic. You are going to move all around your students and the class, but don't move so quickly and don't move all the time so as to make the students understand and not to make them in diaspora. Now you are going to work with the students. How to work with the students? First of all, you are going to give your students plentiful and constructive feedback. Students enjoy and expect feedback from their teachers. It shows that you are personally evaluating their work and that you have firm standards in place. Sorry, I have a flu. Sorry, so sorry. Every student should take his feedback or the feedback from his teacher. If he is doing well or not, you are going to encourage them to always do the best. And you are going to say, if you say excellent or good or very good, or you are doing well today or not doing good, and you are going to be better in the front period, this will affect your students. When grading a student's essay, try leaving 4 or 5 comments on the body of the essay, and then 3 to 4 sentence paragraph at the end, where you detail the major successes and failures of the essay. You are going to give them the feedback, to evaluate their work. When I was a teacher, I used to put a smiling face for my students, and they were feeling very, very, very happy when I put this face. And when I'm so pleased from their essays or their work, I used to put 2 faces or maybe sometimes 3 faces. One of the many of the parents came to school, and they thanked me so much because they feel so happy because their daughters were very, very pleased with these faces, and they made them feel more and more progress and or progressive, and they can do the best all the time. Then give your students verbal feedback in class. You are going to talk to them. You are going to write your notes, and then you are going to give them verbal feedback in class. Encourage their comments and gently push them to develop more complex ideas and solutions. You are going to help them to give you to develop more complex ideas and solutions so as to be creative, innovative, and to be so smart. Then you are going to engage personally with your students during in-class discussions. This will communicate your respect and consideration for the individual student. Your student will in turn have a greater respect for you if it's clear that you know his or her name and care about his or her education. This is very impressive. In fact, if you call the students by his name or in his name, he will feel very comfortable. He will respect you. He will love your period, and he will love you. And I always, when I was a head teacher, I always said to my teachers, you are going to go down to your students to let them go up with you. This is very important, in fact. This is very important to be with your students or to develop your students' levels and standards by going down to them and let them go up with you. This is academically and in their morals. You are going to develop everything concerning these students. Then treat students with kindness, and this is very important. When I say to you, you are going to go down to your students, you have to be sympathetic with them. You have to love them. You have to be very kind. You have to be patient with them. You have to love what they love and avoid what they hate. So showing your students respect and kindness should be a guiding principle when you engage with your students. This is true in all settings in which you communicate with the students, in the classroom, in your office hours, over email, or in any other manner. Listen when they speak and do not speak over a student. When your students speak, you have to listen carefully to them and respect them. So you are going to learn them, or to teach them how to listen to you carefully, and then to discuss what you said or what he said. Then give your students the benefit of the doubt. It can be easy for teachers to forget that their students have a life outside of the class. Sorry, and required homework. However, you need to remember that many students have busy schedules and complicated personal lives. They have their own lives. They have many problems. Maybe they are suffering from the divorce of their parents. Maybe they have no time. They are working. Maybe they have a lot of problems in his family. If students claim to have had a health problem or family emergency, evaluate their claim with objectivity. You are going to claim or evaluate their claim with objectivity. Then encourage your students. This is very important. This gives them self-confidence in themselves. Many students see their teachers primarily as disciplinaries. They view a teacher as someone who punishes them for doing poorly on an assignment or for speaking out of 10 in class. Contrary to this, through your own enthusiasm for the class topic and the materials that you are teaching, you should encourage and inspire your students to learn about the class topic. You are going to encourage them to talk. You are going to let them not feeling shy from what are even if they are talking in the wrong way. You are going to be very kind with them, to encourage them to talk and to praise the students individually and collectively for their work. Praise and reinforcement is very important, or are very important for your students. If you encourage them, they will develop more and more. They will be encouraged to be better in the next times. Find aspects of the class work that each student engages with and encourage the students to develop their own interests within the class. This is very important. Then you are going to establish boundaries for you and your students to follow outside of the classroom. Make it clear to students how they can contact you. For example, give them your email address, but avoid handing out your cell phone number. You are going to give them your email, but not your cell phone number, because you will every minute you will receive a phone for you, or a call for you to ask you about something. Maybe it's important or not, but avoid that. Avoid handing out your cell phone number, but give them your email, because you can open your email at any time and read what they said. Be clear with your students about how long it will take for you to reply their emails. Will you try to reply within the same hour or within a 24-hour period? You are going to tell your students that they can contact you through emails, but not through cell phone number, giving them your cell phone number. And you are going also to tell them that you cannot react with their or reply to their emails soon. You are going to read them maybe at night, maybe through a 24-hour. Maybe you are going to try to answer if there is an emergent case. You are going to answer them instantly. And so you are going to tell them the time you are going to reply to their emails. Avoid meeting with the students off campus. If you must meet at a coffee shop, avoid meeting at places that serve anything that you do not that the students do not drink, for example. And in our Arab countries, we avoid that, in fact, so much. But there are some teachers who like to meet their students outside the school, but I insist that you should avoid meeting them off campus. If you want to meet your students, you are going to meet them just inside the campus or the class or at your school. But if there is a specific problem and you need to meet his parents, you are going, or her parents, you are going to make a meeting with his parents or her parents. You can also invite them to your school or to your office to discuss the problem with their students, but don't make relationships with your students alone. Then you are going to develop a good classroom environment, and this is very important. The environment of the class is a small piece of, or let me say, it's a big piece of being a good management class. You are going to make or to develop a good classroom environment. First of all, create a daily objective for your students. You are going to tell your students that there is one specific, one or two or more objectives you are going to achieve today. They are going to achieve with you today. This is your way of providing a roadmap for your students. It shows them that you have put through into the day's work and you know where it is heading. It's best if the objectives are clear, brief, and realistic. As each objective is completed, remind your students of what they have accomplished together. In the beginning of your class, you are going to create a daily objective or some objectives, maybe 2 or 3 or more, for your students. If they achieved it, you are going to thank them, and you are going to remind that they accomplished this objective together. For example, in a high school literature class, for example, an objective might be to complete a close reading of a particular poem by the end of the period. Some teachers find it helpful to post the day's objectives on the board. It's okay if not every objective is met every day. In some cases, it's better to follow the flow of a particular conversation instead of railroading back to the original subject matter. Then you are going to listen to your students. And as I said before, listening to your students is very important to let them feeling self-confident and to let them that feel that they are respected, and so they will respect you and respect the others. Ask them open-ended questions after they have made a statement. Encourage them to ask you questions as well. Show that you are listening to them by nodding your head or gesturing for them to continue. You are going to do it like this or nodding your head like this. Also, you have to give them eye contact while they are speaking and try your best not to interrupt unless you must redirect the conversation. So you have to listen to your students carefully. You have to respect their speech. You are not going to interrupt them while they are talking. If you want to change or redirect the conversation from one person, from one student to another, you are going to thank him for his thoughts and ideas, and then you are going to redirect. So you can teach them how to be respectful persons. Then begin. An active listener shows your students that you respect their voice in the classroom. They will be more likely to give you respect as a teacher in turn, as I said. If you respected your students, they will respect you. If you insulted them, they will not respect you. In fact, they won't respect you forever. But if you respected them, if you avoid insulting them in front of the others, they will respect you and like you too much. It's also a good idea to model for your students how to respectfully listen to someone while disagreeing with them. You might say, I'm not sure I agree with what you are saying. Can you tell me more? Or does anyone else want to jump in? If you are not pleased with someone's saying or talking, you are not going to insult him or uh, you are going to respectfully listen to him. And if he has a disagreeing idea, you are going to say, I'm not agreeing with you, but if anyone or does anyone else want to jump in or to tell us another opinion in a respectful way, you are going to tell him that his idea or disagreeing idea is good or not. Then keep students on task. Set time limits for classroom exercises or activities. In discussions, use your responses to their remarks as a classroom management tool. For example, you might say, I really like what you are saying. How do you think it connects with the objective number 5? This is one example. And uh, before you make any exercise or giving them any task, you are going to put a limited time and there will be a keeping person or a time keeper for any activity you are going to say. For example, you will just have 5 minutes to accomplish or to do this task. And so they should be attached to this time and finish their task in time. Then push your students to succeed. You are all the time, you are going to encourage them to reinforce them, to push them to succeed. Try to create an environment in which your students will be constantly intellectually challenged. Let them know that it's okay to fail on occasion. You want to strike a balance between setting too high of goals for them and being a pushover. Use your students' progress to guide your way. They should be steadily improving, but not without considerable effort. There should be a considerable effort so as to succeed and to steadily improve. This is the way you have to push your students. Of course, by saying in a verbal way, you can say, excellent, well done, very good. When the students hear these reinforcement or this reinforcement, this will encourage them to participate more and more. For example, you might give a short advanced level reading assignment to high school students and ask them to use a dictionary to look up unfamiliar words. If used sparingly, this is a great way to challenge students to expand their vocabulary. This will be very important. Now, you are going to deal with the classroom challenges. Every classroom has many students, maybe 40 in our country in Palestine. We used to have more than 40 students in the class. But in other countries, in foreign countries, maybe there will be 15 students, maybe 12 students, maybe lesser or more than, but they are not more than maybe 20 students. But in Palestine, we have, in fact, we have more than 40 students in each class. There will be challenges inside these classes. Some of them have problems, some of them have something wrong in their health, something are naughty, something are so quiet, and there will be so many problems. How to treat with these, or to how to handle with these problems or challenges? First of all, discipline in a prompt and thoughtful way. Make the rules for your classroom and each exercise very clear and consistent. You have to be consistent. If a student breaks a rule, handle it immediately in the classroom before moving forward. If there is something went wrong, and a student breaks the rule, for example, while the teacher was explaining a rule, or while you are explaining something, and a student breaks you are going to handle it immediately in the classroom before moving forward. However, once you have made a disciplinary action, don't dwell on it, or you could create additional problems. Also, if you leave this student, he will go on and make so many interruptions. So you have to deal it immediately, instantly. Also, make sure that any consequences that you assign match the level of the offense committed. If you want to punish your students, your punishment should be equal to the offense committed. You are not going to punish them in a hard way or in a very bad way, but it should be the punishment should be equal to the offense committed. For example, if a student accidentally disrupts a designated quiet period, this can generally be corrected with a simple verbal warning for a first offense. You are going to tell the student to be silent and listen to what you are talking about. You can also ask the student to stay after class and speak with you. This is one way to issue a consequence without disrupting your classroom. If you feel yes that when you are going to deal this problem, or the disrupting that the or the interrupting that a student made, if you felt, or you feel that it will take a long time inside the class, you are going to ask the student to stay outside the classroom to talk with him after the period, after your classroom. Then utilize positive reinforcement for situations where multiple students are being problematic. You can say something to the effect of the way this class is going, I can't honestly say good things about everyone's behavior here. So, to be fair, let me be sure to make note of everyone who is behaving well. This tactic can often be a big motivator to get the class back on track, and can also be connected to a reward when applicable. You are going to tell them about the ones who made good by their names. This will make them connect to a reward when applicable. Then assign leadership rules to difficult students. Some students create problems in a classroom due to sheer boredom or feeling disconnected with the subject or their teacher. They don't like the subject, they don't like their teacher. They all the time they are making or creating a problem. Some of them, like some of the students, not all of them, in fact. But this will affect your period. So start with giving a challenging student small personal tasks to complete. Then, over time, give them more difficult and public responsibilities. This will make them busy in doing these responsibilities and tasks. For example, you might ask a student to serve as a timekeeper for an in-class exercise. This is a very good technique. Then be aware that this is an option that won't work for every challenging student. If they don't do well all the simple tasks, don't give them more advanced ones. This is very important. Don't give more difficult ones if they didn't do well in the simple tasks, but you are going to try more and more with simple tasks. Then you are going to express a personal interest in all students. Every student needs the teacher just for himself, especially if they like this teacher. And so, if you show your students that you enjoy their company and value their opinions, then they are far less likely to exhibit challenging classroom behaviors. Make a point of asking your students about their daily lives and personal interests. If you finished your tasks in your class and you have 5 minutes rest in the end of your lesson, you are going to ask about their daily lives, about their interests, their problems, while staying professional. Tell your students information about you in turn. You are going to tell them something about yourself, not your problems, but about something about yourself. Where, for example, where do you live? Something about his daily, what are you doing in your day after school, and so on. For example, you might talk with your students about where you are going for an upcoming break, for example. This is another example. Then stay calm when addressing argumentative student. When you are addressing argumentative students, you should be calm. It's really easy to lose your cool when faced with a challenging or critical students. Instead, take a deep breath and try to look at their perspective. Ask them to explain their position in further detail. Encourage other students to enter into the discussion so as to help this student to talk more and more about himself, and this his colleague will help them to say what he wants easily. Then give quiet students many avenues of participation. There are many possible reasons why a student might remain silent in your classroom. Encourage them to learn by creating a safe environment for all opinions. Offer a variety of assignment options, including journal submissions or email logs. Avoid putting a spotlight on quiet students unless that fits your overall teaching style. Then offer assistance to struggling students. Do your best identify students who are struggling academically early on. Consider offering in-class resources such as peer exercises or direct them to external resources such as subject tutoring. First of all, you are going to be a professional at all times. Dress appropriately for your teaching environment. Keep your teaching materials and classroom organized. Spend time preparing for each day of teaching. Show respect when you're talking with your colleagues and administrators. Think about what it means to be a professional teacher and try to live up to the to that model. Then you are going to be a professional at all times. It sometimes helps to think about one of your past teachers who you would describe as a true professional. Try to think about how you could, in some ways, mimic their behaviors in your own classroom and career. As I said before, sometimes we used to imitate our teachers in their dressing, and also you can imitate your some of your teachers in the way they are talking with. Also, you can imitate their behaviors. So try to sometimes you are going to tell your students about some teachers you used to love and like their way of talking, dressing, and doing everything. So try to mimic their behavior in your own classroom and career, and so the student will mimic you in the same way. Then laugh and keep your sense of humor. As I said, you are going to try to teach your students that learning doesn't have to be serious at 24 for 7 days or 24 for 7. If you do something that is funny or goofy, then laugh at yourself. Being a bit self deprecating will make your students more comfortable with you. If you incorporate um, humor or jokes into your lesson plans, then your students will likely remember the material better as well. As I said, also before, you are going to create a humorous situations so as to refresh your students and encourage them to listen to you more and more. Then repeat positive mantras on bad days. Not every teaching day will go perfectly, and some might even fall into the category of disaster. However, it's important to stay positive, or your students will pick up and reflect your negative energy. Take a moment to tell yourself it's going to be okay, or tomorrow is a new day. Put a smile on your face and keep going. If there are some situations with some bad situations, or not all days are good, but there will be bad days also, but you are going uh, to draw a smile on your face, and you are going to say a note like, tomorrow is a new day. There will be you are going to put a smile on your face also and keep going, and tomorrow will be better, inshallah, and so on. You might even say out loud, I love teaching because, and the list of a few reasons. For example, think about a moment when you saw real improvement in a student's life due to your efforts. If you make a good effort with your students, you are going to tell them about these efforts or to put them for yourself. If it's been a bad day for the students too, then you might even say that you want to do a reset. Tell them that you want to formally start the day over from that point forward. You are going also to say to your students that it's not the end. If it is a bad day, you are going to say that it's not the end of the world today, but you are going to tell them that they want to formally start the day over from the point forward, and they are going to keep going on. Create good relationships with the parents of the students, and this is very important, a very important note, in fact, because through students, by communicating with them, you are going to know their students' levels, their students' problems, if they have in health or in their behaviors. Communication is key when working with parents. Keep in touch with them via in person conferences as well as written behavioral reports. Let them know that you are interested in their ideas and perspectives on teaching. You can also solicit their help for events and celebrations in your classroom. This communication will make the students or the parents love your way in teaching, and the students will love you and feel that you are managing like as if you were one of his parents, and so the relationship will be very good with your students and parents. Uh, the last point, we're going to talk about improving as a teacher. As a teacher, you are going to improve yourself, to all the time to update yourself, all the time to be a successful and a good teacher. Now, you are going to seek first, in the first point, you are going to seek out teaching mentors. Look for other teachers at your school who are willing to discuss teaching with you, or who will even let you sit in on their classes. If they are interested, invite them to your classroom as well. After they have seen you teach, um, ask them to provide you with the constructive criticism. See if they have suggestions for how you can be an even better teacher. In fact, as a supervisor in my school, I'm a head teacher. In fact, I'm a resident supervisor. I used to make the teachers. I first of all, I chose the best teachers or the most innovative and creative teachers, and I asked the whole teachers in a period after their classes, to attend with them, or the teachers who are sitting in their break in this period. I ask all of them to attend this class. Why? This is to listen carefully to what are the procedures that this teacher do. If he's very good in communicating with the students, in asking the questions, in making discussions, in using the strategies, in using the whiteboard or the blackboard or the teaching aids carefully, I used to let all the teachers who are sitting in their free periods to attend to this teacher, so as to imitate him in a way, in a way or another. Maybe some teachers feel some weakness in using teaching aids. They are going to teach how to use these teaching aids or the smart board. They cannot use the smart board from this teacher. They will know or learn how to use the smart board. If he distribute the questions among the students, they are going to know that not to concentrate just on one student and leave the others. And there are many tactiques and procedures these good teachers use to attract or to attract the students and achieve their goals. When they attend these classes, I found that they tried to imitate. Of course, it's for them, I encouraged them, I rewarded them, and so the other teachers try to imitate them in a way or another. This is very important. And instead of by yourself as a supervisor, we have a schedule. In fact, a monthly schedule. We write the name of the teacher and the objectives of the visit, and the group who will visit the teacher, the time, the period, the date. We write all of these things and we distribute them. This schedule among the teachers, the whole teachers, and we write the names of the persons or the teachers who will attend this class. So as to right after that, after they attend, we sit together to discuss the period, and every teacher will say frankly his opinion or perspective or his point of view in this class. What are the good things? What are the bad things he watched through this period? And this is very, very, very a very, very good procedure, in fact. And so I developed most of my teachers in this way. After that, they will write what they said verbally. They will write in their reports, and we collect these reports and let the teacher sign upon them to be a document for him to come back to it when he want to make another lesson. Then, for example, there are some examples I'll tell you. They might suggest that you state your classroom objectives more clearly. Then you can talk about how you'd go about doing this. It's also a good idea to exchange teaching materials with your mentors and colleagues. If you want to, you can exchange teaching aids or materials, in fact. Show them the format that you use for quizzes or tests and ask to see their versions. You don't have to teach the same subject to benefit from talking about teaching. You can also find mentors via teaching organizations or even at conferences. Stay in touch with the people that you meet and seek out their advice when you need it. Attending conferences and education is very important. You are going to attend these conferences and symptoms to get the latest or the updating methods in teaching generally. Then take time to reflect. At the end of each semester or teaching period, sit down and evaluate what worked well and what didn't. You are going to be honest with yourself and realistically assess what is in your power to change before teaching that particular class again. If you are preparing for a certain course that always causes problems, you might consider reaching out to your mentors for advice. For example, you might find that your students react better to projects using media. If that's the case, think about how you can incorporate more media-driven activities in your classroom. Then take advantages of professional development opportunities. Go on to teaching conferences in your area, as I said, and meet other education professionals. Write articles about teaching and publish them in local magazines or newspapers. Read as more as you can. Serve as a grader for exams in your area, such as the advanced placements tests, for example. Keep learning and you will be a model for your students too. These are or the advantage of professional development opportunities. This is very important to have to be all the time updating. Then to plan your lessons, you are going to do your class preparation and lesson planning well in advance. I'm a good teacher, but I don't plan, then you are not a good teacher. If you don't plan your lessons very well, you are not a good teacher. For teachers, few experiences are less enjoyable than staying up late the night before a class, preparing the readings or assignments that your students will complete the next day. Keep your work organized and plan each lesson ahead of time. Then, this will help you to have written lesson plans at the beginning of each week. Written down your lesson plan for each class you will teach. Do your class preparation, writing assessments and quizzes, preparing videos, etc. at the beginning of the week as well. Monthly calendars are often helpful for a big picture approach. Preparing a detailed calendar a month or two in advance will help you schedule the various segments of the course you are teaching. If you are teaching at the high school or college level, consider sharing the calendar with your students, even if the calendar will change slightly as the course develops. Then you have to plan for your lesson daily, weekly, and monthly. And you have a calendar. You will have a calendar to look for what are you doing well or not. Then establish a regular schedule for your grading. Many experienced teachers found themselves quickly bogged down in grading seemingly endless papers and tests. To avoid this, figure out when during the week you have time to grade and break the total amount of weekly grading down into manageable pieces. It helps to use a timer when grading. For example, give yourself 15 minutes to grade each essay and 5 minutes to grade each quiz. Then you are going to use technology that will be helpful for your students. Technology is very, very important and very helpful for your students. While you do Sorry. While you do not need to always use the newest, most trendy teaching techniques or teach from your students' favorite websites, it will help you, both you and your students, if you use some technology in the classroom. Students quickly become tired of repetitive class structures and lectures. Using technology could mean create a PowerPoint or a Prezi to convey information. Show your students a short, relevant film or video that will speak or spark classroom. Then there are even phone-based learning apps that instructors can incorporate into new lessons, and this will make the environment of the class very vital, and they will like your period because they are very bored from repetitive structures and explanations. Then vary your teaching style and strategies. Don't stick to specific strategies or to specific strategies. You are going to vary all the time. This will allow you to accommodate different learning styles. Although you as a teacher may have a favorite way of teaching your students, consider that various students may learn better through other methods, including verbal instruction, reading texts, conversation, and hands-on experience. Experiment with different teaching techniques. There are many, in fact, there are many ways of or methods of teaching. But in fact, the most suitable one for myself, I always said to my teachers to use the eclectical way or method. You can take from each method the technique which is suitable for those students and not suitable for others. You are going to take what suits every student and every class, and it will be a very good method. Skip the lecture and instead help your students learn with an active group activity. Then this is as I said, the experiment will different teaching with different teaching techniques will help you to skip the lecture and instead help your students learn with an active group activity. And that what we need, in fact, what we need, sorry. Bring intangible objects related to the lesson that your students can interact with and learn from. We call these things the realia. The realia are the real objects which we use maybe for the, it will be very suitable for the younger or for the kids. When you bring an orange, for example, to say this is an orange, this is an apple, this is a pencil, a pen, the door, the window, the teacher, these are called realia. Then in discussions, provide a mixture of abstract thoughts and practical examples. Take your students on a field trip, even in college. This is very important. In discussions, provide a mixture of abstract thoughts and practical examples, and you have to connect your lesson with situational life to let the learning process stick in their minds. Let teaching inspire your own learning. Part of the pleasure of teaching students is that, along with sparking their curiosity to learn, you can remind yourself of the pleasure of learning as well. You can allow your teaching to maintain your own academic and personal interests in the subject matter of your classes. If you are permitted, make small changes to your teaching materials and assignments each year. This will keep the material fresh for you and make it more enjoyable for your students. By the time and where the time is passing, you are going to change your strategies, your materials, your ways. You are going to develop yourself. You are going to do more than you did in the last year or the previous year, and so you will be a very good or a successful teacher. There are some tips I'm going to say for them. I talked maybe about them through my slides, but you are going to ask other teachers to observe you and provide constructive feedback. As I said, there will be exchanging visits with your colleagues, and this is according to the schedule of the supervisors, but you can yourself go to your colleague and ask him if he was successful. You are going to ask him to attend his class to give you the feedback and to get the benefits of his lecture or a lesson. Often other instructors can see strengths and weaknesses that are hard for you to see in yourself. This is very important. Then another tip, ask other teachers for advice. Teaching is in many ways a communal activity, and another teacher has found that a particular exercise works as well. Ask them to explain the exercise to you and try it in your own classrooms. Observe the classes of more experienced teachers. As we said, in the exchanging visits, you will observe the classes of more experienced teachers to get the benefit or to be like them or to imitate them or to mimic them. Don't forget about parents as well. As we said before, do your best to encourage parents to be involved in the school, and you will get the benefit. In fact, this is the last of my lecture today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you have got the information and got the benefit from this lecture. Thank you very much. Waiting for your questions. I'm ready. Thank you very much. Hello, Miss. I have finished. I have finished. Miss, please. Miss, where's the team here? I have finished. Yes,
Thank you so much,
I
ma'am,
have
for a
finished.
rich presentation which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for a
You're
question answer
welcome.
session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Welcome back, ma'am. Welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Ma'am, our first question is from Kingway. Ma'am, Dr. Samia Ismail Sheikh. Who are the struggling students? How are they struggling?
Okay, very good question. In fact, thank you. The struggling students are those who are not or who couldn't achieve the objectives of the teaching learning process. They cannot understand what are you doing. They cannot understand. They have so much problems. Maybe, as I said, their their parents were divorced or they have healthy problems. They cannot go along with the teaching learning process, and they couldn't achieve the objectives and the goals of the material. And so this is one of the most important challenges that the teacher will face. So he will manage himself to handle with these struggling students. He's going to first of all to listen to them, to know their or to communicate with their parents, to know their problems, to try to solve these problems, to respect these students, to listen carefully to them, to know their problems, to know why they are getting or the points of weaknesses for them, why they are not, maybe they are bored, they feel boring from, or they feel bored from the class. They maybe they don't like the teacher, they don't like the material, and maybe they are very weak in understanding the materials or in education. In fact, this is a general problem. So when he know that, or when the teacher knew these struggling students, so he will try to find the solutions for his problems. He will try maybe with the consultant or the students, the education consultant with the student. He will also try to communicate, as I said, with the parents to find ways and solutions to help this student to develop in his or to progress in his teaching learning process. So he must give him or try to engage him and involve him in the and evoke him in the learning process by giving him simple tasks in first, and then try to complete that. He may put a leader for him to teach his colleague. Try to give him simple tasks, then to give him most difficult tasks. If he didn't do well in the simple tasks, don't give him or he will not, or he won't give him the more difficult tasks. He will still give him just the simple tasks, so as to develop or to make a little progress. He will reinforce him, and so he will feel well, and so he can go ahead. This is the strategy, students. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, our next question is from Timothy. Good day, ma'am. How do we make our classroom discussion more effective? Sorry, more interactive?
When you want to make a very good question, in fact, because this will help the students to participate, most of them to participate. If you want to make your discussion interactive, you are going to put in mind, first of all, you are going to plan very well to your lesson. You are going to as I said, there are different types of students inside the class. So you are going, for example, to divide them to groups. In every group, there will be a timekeeper to say when the time will end for this activity, for example. Now, you are going to use brainstorming for the whole class and the groups. You are going to put, for example, the idea on your board, on the board, and ask them something about any subject you are going to talk about. You are going to elicit or to elicit the answers from each student and write them on the board. If there is a notice student, you are going to give him some tasks to let him go with your students or with the students to listen carefully. Don't make, I said to you, and as I said in my slides, I said to you that from the beginning of your class, you are going to put rules that they should follow. These rules, such as keeping silence or maintaining silence inside the classroom, they mustn't or shouldn't interrupt the teacher while he's talking. If someone wants anything, he should raise his hand. These rules should be stick to them. The students should be stick to them. Now, if I want to make the discussion more interactive or very active, you are going to let the students work in the groups. They should discuss the ideas with each other after giving them clear instructions. There should be clear instruction to any subject you are speaking or talking about, and then you will distribute some questions among the groups. Then ask each group to discuss with each their members. Then after that, you are going to elicit. There will be a spoken person for each group, and you are going to reverse to ask them to give their replies. You are going to reinforce every group, and so we are going to listen to everyone in the group to make all the students participate in the discussion. If you, I said you can put an idea on or an address on the board and ask the students to give their opinion or a problem, for example, a question. And you are going, for example, you are going to say about pollution. You are going to talk about pollution. You are going to ask them what causes pollution. This group will ask in the water, this in the air, and the other group in the sea, for example. And each group will give you its replies. So you are going to collect these ideas and put them on the board. Let every member in the group say his reply. So most of the students will share and interact with the discussion. And I used to tell my students to write these or their answers on pieces of charts, wall charts. And every group used to take this chart and hang it on the board, and the other students or another one writes and the other reads what he says or what is the reply. And so I used to have most of my students share in the discussion. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Looking seeing you next in the middle, maybe in the middle of month. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Welcome, ma'am. Honorable ma'am, before we move to the next, if you want to leave this studio, you can.
Thank you.
Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification process. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure you presence on our website. Find a learning session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, move to the next with the learning test, passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, retake the quiz. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure you presence on our website. Find a learning session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, click mark as complete. Move to the next with the learning test, passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, retake the quiz. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. We change a few processes for online quiz competition. Note that after live, no one can participate. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Browse the live quiz button or given link. Find the session name and join with your logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join and join online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificate for top 10 as previously, which you can find on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Profession. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, Kingway is disqualified from the quiz session. I repeat, Kingway is disqualified from the quiz session. And with 24 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. First question is, how to be a successful learner? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Our second question is, how to be a successful news editor? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer. 28% people are right here. Our third question is, how to be a successful manager? Option 1, maintain a positive impression. Option 2, keep a big smile. Keep a big smile. Option 1 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Our next question is, how to be a successful team? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Our next question is, how to be a successful person? Option 1, play more game and relax. Option 2, study hard, work hard and invest monies. Option 2 is the right answer. 94% people are right here. Our next question is, how to be a successful man? Option 1, being home the bacon. Option 2, change to a woman. Option 1 is the right answer and 100% people are right here. Our next question is, how to be a successful businessman? Option 1, listen to your boss. Option 2, tell your boss F him. Option 1 is the right answer. 83% people are right here. Eighth question is, how to be a successful competitor? Option 1, sabotage other company to get an advantage. Option 2, predict risks and understand competition on a large scale. Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Our second last question of the session is, how to be a successful entrepreneur? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer. 95% people are right here. Our last and final question of the session is, how to be a successful magician? Option 1, don't give up. Just try your best. Option 2, be confident and start with the basic and work your way up. answer. 89% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition. We are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition. We are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition. We are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of first session, we can say properly feed your skill. Never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy, stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to evolve not a people of things. Albert Einstein. Before I saw hit the unlike button, again wants to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.